What's going on, Bobby? What's happening? What's up, everybody? I apologize, but I think we lied to you. When Bobby comes here, I'll explain. Ooh, I guess that also answers that question if Bobby's coming tonight. I totally forgot that he was listed as questionable. Am I taking quickly? Wait, you're getting right into it. You're getting like much faster than I am. I don't know. Am I? Why am I doing that? Because Grimes is out. Is that what you're saying? Well, I don't know. That sounds reasonable. I have to really update the projections in a little bit. The Grimes news probably just came out, right? So let me just see. The deal is that as I promised you guys that there'd be value that would show up, but apparently I lied. I don't really see any, at least not yet. Let me see what is Grimes now. So with Grimes out, yeah, quickly just looks okay. Honestly, he doesn't really look to be. I'll update this in a little bit, but he doesn't look he quickly. I don't really support this projection. I gotta wait to see if when the starters come out, like where we're at there. I presume the starters are going to come out pretty soon. But like right now, I was getting all kinds of really weird stuff with respect to value. Would I take Cole? Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's the deal. Like this slate, there's just so little, so little. Let me see. What is again? I'll just have to up. I'll just have to up his projection a little bit later. There's Bobby.
Hey, I'm really sorry about that.
No, I was telling him we lied to them apparently because we promised everybody there'd be value opening up.
Well, it's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
It's not over until 10 Eastern. I'm still on that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out because I don't love anything, so I am backloading the games, still hoping that there's something that's gonna happen, and I also don't mind ending up with all those Rockets anyway. So that's my plan.
Because I ran stuff, and the players I was getting were just really gross. So I'm kind of hoping. Like I got a couple lineups with like Landry Shamet. Like it's like stupid stuff that I need to kind of work through. Somebody asked a question about quickly tonight, because Grimes was out. I didn't see any projection update that would make him such a great play. Did you think about that at all, or
it's really Barrett, whether Barrett plays or not, that's the relevant piece of information for that. I do think quickly he's in play, but I don't think that it's like I'm not trying to get to him. I don't think that he necessarily even gets the minutes, and it's probably going to be a combination of he and Hart, but he's always got upside. It's just a matter of, what happens with Barrett. If Barrett's out, you're going to want a couple nicks on most of your teams, but we don't have that information. It is the first game, so hopefully we'll have that information.
Kyle, to answer your question, no, the projections are not updated throughout the night.
The SaberSim ones are, but not
right.
Not
Saber. If you're a SaberSim subscriber, yes, those update like every 5 minutes.
But if you're a true DFS through Saber, if you use us through SaberSim, which we basically have made that, so we want everybody basically doing that. You know what I mean? Just so we have that projection for them.
That's right. And by the way, I figured out. Like I figured out why the Terrence Mann was showing up is because apparently Westbrook by his own demand is coming off the bench tonight, and Mann's going to start for him or something like that.
So and I think that's the. I sort of saw that one coming, and I was happy that Westbrook was out there doing the right thing. By the way, yes, I'm getting comments about the wallpaper. I'm in a very funky little hotel on the beach in Ventura, and it's a very strange place. It looks like an old pirate ship. So it's amazing. There's even a TV in here. So it's definitely a strange place.
Raptors in play, so that's interesting because you did see that OG Anunoby was ruled out, but I thought he was projected to be out anyway.
Yeah, and they priced up everybody else like Siakam and Barnes anyway. I think that though taking a shot on those guys is certainly something you could do. I think that Schroeder, you could take a shot. You could always take a shot with Podol or Precious, but nobody who stands out as a play, to be honest.
And Gary Trent is in, which takes off some Malachi Flynn, I imagine.
And Grady Dick.
And thank God I don't have to play him. Yeah, I got this one lineup I'm looking at with actually both Embiid and Giannis in it. It's like I have to rely on those two guys to score all the points in the lineup, I think.
Yeah, I really think if you're going to try to cram value, though, just go for the later games value and just hope that you get something else. But, looking through the value plays, none of these are real values, whether it's Eric Gordon or Keontae George, not like screaming values. I think a Kongwu is one you could use. That's an earlier one, unfortunately, but it's 7:30. Still, at least buys you an extra 20 minutes. I think that obviously we talked about you could say Kamara in addition to Terrence Mann is also a guy you could use in the later games, and you could hope for something else. Same with Thibault. I don't love these plays, but I'm just saying that those would be the guys because they're playing later that I would play instead of any early projected value unless we get news in the next 53 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Sabersim, that I support this Landry Shamet play. That's showing up in my builds here. Doesn't really give me any games that I would like in the last 5 games, and it's an early game. I think it's just all lead to me vetoing the Landry Shamet idea.
Yeah, it's the early game, and if you're going to play Landry Shamet, you probably should instead consider Corey Kispert. But it's not a fun play either at 4K. And Gallinari's back now. It's not beautiful. I do think Koulibaly is but again, not real value. 4,800 is not what I mean? None of these are really screaming value plays. It's a tough slate, man. This is look, we talk all the time though about how I give DraftKings credit. I want it to be tough. You know what I mean? I like that it's hard to come up with builds, and I also think that it benefits anybody who's going to be doing late swapping, and I think that's something you really got to do on these kind of.
Well, let me see. What were those value? I'm just looking at my sheets now. So what were those mid-range plays that we talked about before? Let me just put some guys in. So
Keontae George.
Yeah, I'm getting there. But Tobias Harris, Aaron Gordon. I'm just these guys just are whatever. Where is he? Is he a power forward?
Yeah.
Power forward only. Then there was Sengun, right? Like that. And then Mitchell Robinson, but then we're at all these centers, right? So it was Gordon, Sengun, Harris, Skylar Mays. Someone asked about him, right? He is reasonable. And
you're right. Yeah, those are all the right plays. I just don't know. It feels weird.
I don't know either. Josh Hart, if Barrett doesn't play, right?
Josh Hart, if Barrett doesn't play, yes, for sure. Josh Hart and Quickly will both. Separately, but probably play them separately. But I think you're going to play one of those guys in a good portion of lines. But the main one is going to be you're going to switch things and play Randall and Brunson. I think that's the right thing to do.
Randall and Brunson.
Yeah. So one thing I just had just a funny little narrative one. Is Jalen Green actually Filipino? He is. I know that there's a Jalen Green. It's Filipino night in LA.
There it is.
Jalen Green and Kobe, who's one of our follow Kobe for 4L. So Kobe for life. He follows us and he posted that. And I was like, I can kind of talk myself. I kind of like Jalen Green anyway, but I'm trying to find the link between him and is he actually? I think he's half Filipino. I think he and Clarkson are the two guys who are half Filipino. So look, I love that game anyway. It's a late game. You can make a lot of adjustments. I think that's something I can talk myself into, I think.
So we talked about you talked about the Eric Gordon ownership before.
Oh God, I'm playing him right now in one of my lineups, but again, just because it's a later game.
Right.
I hate that I'm playing him. Like I don't like it. I think a better play, like at the same price, a different. I mean, it's both forward eligibility. Maybe not better. I mean, it's not a fun one. Mo Wagner. For whatever reason, all my lineup builds, I always end up with 4,800 on every build right now. Maybe I just say F it and do the Okongwu thing. Okongwu. Yeah, Okongwu. I mean, I think that's right enough. Yeah, hey, look, man, this is for an 11 gamer. I don't remember one being like this.
This brutal, right?
Yeah, this is like really empty.
Well, Eric Gordon, I currently have a lineup with him, and I could have like a bunch that I could still spend. So I could play D'Anthony Melton instead of him.
Yep.
It's not a late game, but it's better. I mean, if I have 1,100 to spend, I mean, may as well spend it. The NBA.
Yep. I mean, look, one guy who I wanted to throw out there, I really like. I don't know. I must have lost my mind, but I'm talking myself into Harden tonight. Like,
ooh, what do you think about that?
Look, if it was in Houston, different story.
James Harden, let's go.
Maybe that's the automatic play if they're in Houston, but I think that's a really interesting play. So I'm probably going to roll.
Well, you know what I could do? I could start with freaking Sengun in the utility there, and I could just always change my mind and go to Harden.
Well, I like that. The thing is, I'm only playing Harden because I want to play Sengun and Van Vliet.
Oh, okay.
So for me, that's probably what I won't do, not what I would do, but I get it. Like, I really like these Rockets tonight. I think that the Sengun, Van Vliet, low ownership sounds great to me. I'm good with Jabari Smith also. I understand that that he loses a little with Tari Eason back. I'm okay with using some Tari Eason. He's a value one you could probably talk yourself into. I mean, he hasn't played more than 19 minutes yet. He's a very good point per minute player, and at some point you expect those minutes to creep up. The only problem is the Rockets kind of have a good thing going, so do they really want to mess with the minutes right now? Probably not.
The LA Clippers have officially signed Daniel Tice. They don't know if he's available. Beauchamp is out. Trent expected to play. It says somebody's guess is that he starts for OG after Porter and Grady Dick started the last two.
Yeah. I just want to point out to Jolly in Discord, I think you're going about your building wrong. There's too much of this, so we need to play a small forward for Milwaukee because the small forwards kill Charlotte. It's just such a weird narrative to like an 11-game slate to try to be playing into on a team that doesn't really have a small forward that, like Chris Middleton doesn't play minutes anymore. At some point, yeah, he will play minutes again. Is he going to tonight? I don't see why he would. Can he get there in short time? Sure. I just don't think that's the right way you should be building in general. And I also, Jolly asked about any thoughts of playing the Spurs with Clippers. There's no correlation between those two teams, so I don't really understand what that means. My straight up answer is just, I mean, there's some players in the Spurs that are interesting, and look, you can make an argument for Kawhi or James Harden as potential plays tonight, and maybe Paul George. But I don't think that's like a way you're building. No.
Well, maybe like you said, you should just, play the Houston and the Clippers,
Yeah, but I wouldn't play more than one Clipper though. That's the one thing I want to just be clear about. I think that it's sorry, more than two. Terrence Mann, yeah, Terrence Mann and whomever. I think Terrence Mann's in all my lineups right now.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he's playing later. You know what I mean? It's it.
Right.
I can just pivot over, and if not, I'm okay with ending up with Mann. Jo asked me if I'm good with Sexton. Look, it's a thin value play that's being treated. Let me just see if the ownership is still where it was on him. Yeah, of course. Anybody in these later games, I'm okay with. But Colin Sexton at 25% ownership when he could literally play like 12 minutes. Like, it's possible. They have so many guys, So yeah, they want to give minutes to Keontae George, their first round pick. They want to give minutes to Clarkson. Sexton, can he get there? Of course he can. But I don't know, man. It's just like there's nothing about that play. The great part about that play is that the game starts at 10 Eastern. That's the best part about that play.
When does the San Antonio game start? That's early.
It's a very strange early game. I was actually wondering what the NBA TV schedule is. I think that it must be that one.
I mean, you could, like you said, you could play Skylar Mays, Houston guy, Clipper guy, 10 o'clock game. You can play Durant if you want or whatever. Play Eric Gordon to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
How bad is play as those guys? How about Booker and Durant? Are they terrible?
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'd rather play Anthony Davis, I think, but
yeah, okay.
That's just me. I think Anthony Davis has a bounce back game for what it's worth. I think this is a perfect spot for him to really talk about a get right game.
He's been shredding all year. He's doing great.
Well, yeah, but then he has these weird like he just got demolished by Sabonis in the last game out.
Right.
Yeah, it is Sacramento at San Antonio. That's why it is, and then Phoenix at Utah is also an ESPN game. I mean, look, man, there's a lot of good guys that I'd like to spend for. Like, I'd love to play Jokic. I'd love to play Embiid. I'd love to play both those two guys together. I just don't know how you can do it. Like, I do think that, like, if you're going to spend up on things, like, just use again, as I just keep saying over and over again, just use the late value. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's also weird. Like I want to play Wemby and I want to play Fox on the other side, but I just not able to build that. You know what I mean? Like I can build that, but then I just have to get rid of my Houston love, which I don't want to do. I have two big lineups that I'm playing with tonight, and to give it, in one of them, there's Van Vliet, Sengun, Jabari Smith, and Jalen Green are in half of my big buy-ins. They're all going to be in the big buy-ins. All four of those guys. And then all Terrence Mann. So that's 5 players from that game that I'm just loaded up on. Yeah, I think that's right, MJ. I don't see any reason you'd have to get exposure to this first game. But again, we may not get news. It's been a little drier than we thought, and we got a lot of players in that we thought might be out tonight. So but yeah, I don't really look. No, I'm not gonna have any issue if you can find a way to play Giannis. I'm not going to have an issue with any of these things, but I just don't see as playing the first game as being optimal for me anyway.
Unless, like you said, unless you want to just play Giannis and Embiid and just,
But then how?
Yeah, you could do it. You can do it.
You can do it.
It ain't pretty, but you can do it.
Rough, yeah. It is a good match. I mean, I do think Giannis is a really good play. It's just I don't know how to get him. I am playing Anthony Davis, though, in one of my big buy-ins. But again, it's another late news thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I just make that my cutoff, I could just play everybody from those games. And if I get stuck, I get stuck.
We're still waiting on Knicks, right? Waiting on Barrett / just Barrett, I guess.
I don't know what to answer about this Golden State GM thing. I don't think that's it's certainly not relevant to the DFS. I don't know what the answer is. Which center would I recommend as a great value? There is no great value at center. So there is no one. Embiid is the best projected player on the slate, and he's a great value, but you don't have any other value to be able to play him like easily.
Right.
But I do love I think Embiid is a terrific play. Embiid, it's so funny. Embiid's projected to be like, what, 5, 6, 7, 8% owned, whatever, somewhere in that sub 10%. If we get like Barrett out and somebody else out before that game starts, he might end up like 40% owned.
Could be. You mentioned Najee Marshall earlier.
Yeah, another one of those fringy kind of plays. He's one you could include too. I think there's some merit to his too. Like, he's really active, and it's a good matchup for activity. It's also potential of, let's see what happens if Joe Val gets in foul trouble. No, they're going to just bring in Robinson Earl probably, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's tough out there, man. So I just, I posted my early builds, and I'm just sort of waiting. I'm in waiting mode. I don't have anything to do until the later games.
Yeah, that's probably wise. Do you do FanDuel today?
No.
I just played a couple of the small ones, a couple of the 15s.
I think FanDuel you can get more of what you want. That's what I noticed though when I was trying to mess with a build earlier. And I didn't post my course today because it would just be all changing. I thought, but maybe not, man. Maybe this is all the news we're gonna get. Wouldn't it be funny if Embiid was ruled out?
Yeah, hysterical.
He's technically questionable.
That would be fine, actually.
It opens everything up.
Then I'd play. Then it would be all the Harris and Melton and Paul Reed and like.
Yep. And yeah, it's just one of these days, as they say. So just waiting on whatever we're gonna hear. We don't even have the starting. We have one starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I'll run another set of projections if more news comes out. But aside from that, I'm just gonna use SaberSim and then I'm just gonna X random guys out. You know what I mean? Like if I get guys that I just don't want to play. I mean, it's not the most analytical thing to do, but like if I get like 40% like Matisse Thybulle or something like that, or like 40, or were you about to say something about Thybulle?
Well, the thing is, at least he plays in a later game.
That's true.
But I would rather Kamara, but I think Thybulle, like, you just don't have other guys,
Right.
And some of these guys are going to get there, by the way. Kamara's starting now. Thybulle had a really good game off the bench, but I think Kamara is probably, he's not going to get a lot of usage or anything, but he's a starting 3,800, Thybulle's going to get minutes. He's a 3,900 and he's going to play over 20 minutes. He put up 30 and 29 and 24 in his 3 out of his last 4 games. He's probably got to make a couple threes and get you a few steals.
Keontae George on FanDuel.
Yep, on DraftKings too.
DraftKings too. John Collins been playing decently.
John Collins is solid, yeah. I actually think John Collins is like an excellent play, to be honest. I don't know why on FanDuel he's 5,300. That's kind of egregious, right, Sheets?
Yeah, and I keep getting all back to the Zach Collins business.
And he's a totally fine play. It's just hard for him to smash at his price. He can do it, just really kind of hard. And I mean, look, we keep projecting for all this stuff, and he basically has been missing every game.
Yeah.
He hasn't hit 30 in 5 games, but it is another good matchup. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that, Potagen. What else have we got here? Hypothetically, if Embiid is out, that would be a killer stack. I don't know if it would be a great stack on the Atlanta side.
You could run it back with what's his name?
With Trey, yeah. I don't think there's anything, though, that stands out about, I think that Okongwu is my favorite Atlanta play. Capella is my second favorite. And Trey is next. I have to probably answer that phone call because I believe it is the owner of my house. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so again, I'm just letting SaberSim do my bidding for FanDuel. I'm not really making any changes there. I'll just rely on the projections. But I'm gonna update them again after we get after some some Knicks starters. I mean, any little change that can give me some direction, I'm gonna appreciate. Let's just put it that way.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right. So just still waiting on the Jose Alvarado won't play. Okay. DeRozan is available.
Yeah, everybody's playing. Even more guys are playing than we thought.
He wants to play on Fridays for some reason now.
So let me just think about this Jose Alvarado thing for just a second while we need to.
Okay, all right, something to stew over. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. They're gonna limit him.
No, he won't
play.
He won't play tonight. It says.
Oh, he won't play tonight.
Correct.
Okay, good because he got upgraded to doubtful from out.
Yeah, no, but it says it's possible he plays Saturday. It says.
Okay. So then I'm looking at some questions here, Sheets, and I'll throw them to you. Top 3 centers. The problem is the top 3 centers. I'm not sure you can get to the ones like you really want, which would be Embiid and Jokic. But I actually want Şengün just about as much as those guys. So I'd say Şengün is my favorite center play. Sheets, and I like Anthony Davis a little bit because he's a little bit cheaper than the other guys.
And I'll go down a little bit more as well. So I'll mention Collins just because he kept showing up, and then also I'll also again not the greatest game slot in the world, but Mitch Robinson as well.
Yep. Yeah. Fair enough. Favorite game stack so far, Sheets, is a question from MJ for you.
It's just got to be the Houston game right now.
That's the same for me.
Just because of when it is.
Yep.
It just kind of has to be, and it might end up just being it. You know what I mean? Like if nothing else shows up, like you said, then listen, you got guys that can do stuff in that game.
Yep. Absolutely. I wonder what happened. It's really interesting that just we can't find it. You know what I mean? On this slate, I just am looking, and even when the value keeps changing, all the guys at the top, it's like they're all the same guys we've seen all day, and it's just you don't see slates where the best value that are 11-game slates are Jokic, Embiid, and Zach Collins. That's ridiculous. Jokic and Embiid. Jokic is 12-5, Embiid's 11-4. We can't find one guy to project for like 6x.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Exactly. Pretty funny.
Man, I'll tell you what, though. I think this is a slate that, in my opinion, potentially could be better for hand builders rather than some of the stuff. Because if there is any news later, what the projections things are going to do is they're going to plug in some of these guys from the earlier games, some of these thinner values if you play those guys. And I just think maybe setting a rule to eliminate the early value, if you're going to play that way, is probably the best way to go. But you really got to be glued to your computer all night, and that's who wants to give up a Friday night. So,
all right. So I've got a play for you. I'm sure you're gonna consider it anyway. You might have already told me you're playing it. How about the second unit aforementioned Russell Westbrook?
Boy, I'll tell you what. I love that you brought it up.
At 6,500.
Yeah.
He could play, if he gets hot, he could play 28, 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. In fact, I've still got him at 27.
And in the second unit, he just is going to own the ball. I mean,
Powell. Yeah, you're right. I'll tell you what, Cheese. I think I on this slate I can definitely go along with it.
It's not it's not the worst. It definitely wouldn't be the worst play I've ever made. So that's
and to speak of another one that I think is a pretty good play. Like actually, Terrence Mann is 3,800, projecting at between 18 and 19 fantasy points wherever you look.
Yeah.
You have Norman Powell at 4K projected between 18 and 19 fantasy points wherever you look. Norman Powell is projected to be 3% owned. Terrence Mann's projected to be 25-30% owned.
And Powell will be with the second unit.
Powell will be with the second unit. But that's okay, though. Powell also may end up like there's a situation where he ends up closing. There's a scenario for sure. I mean,
especially when Houston lays it on him with all my money line action on him, and then it's a blowout, right. and then it's Russell Westbrook and Powell.
That's right. Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, you play the Westbrook. Hope Harden and Paul George get into a fight, sort of like the Warriors did the other night.
There you go.
All of a sudden, you've got the guy who's going to score 60 for like at 0.5% ownership.
That's right. Who are the other guys in Houston you like? Jabari Smith.
I like Jabari Smith.
Jalen Green.
I like him fine. Tari Eason's one you could consider. My favorites are Van Vliet and Sengun, then Green, then Smith, then Eason.
Yeah.
How about Norman Powell? Actually, I think that's actually something.
It's definitely for late swaps. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's why you should play this game. You know, because it provides a little bit of latitude.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I wouldn't play like a single player from Detroit, Cleveland, like for example.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there, unless I don't know, unless something
happens. I mean, obviously,
right? Yeah.
This Philly Atlanta stack though might intrigue me. I mean, if I played with Young's 9,200, Embiid is still questionable.
What if he's out, man? That's the moneymaker.
That is something.
That's it. That's everything, I think.
But you hit the nail right on the head. You're hitting it around the head. You have like Embiid in a great spot, 11-4, and you can't find a single guy to project at 6x.
I know. Ugh.
Let's take a look at some more.
It's just rough.
There's any more news here? There's just nothing coming in. There's no Knicks starters. There's nothing.
we got nothing.
Right? We got nothing.
Man, I cannot find a build that I'm comfortable with.
RJ is out.
There we go. Okay. At least that frees up something in the mid tier. So you have Josh Hart or Quickly. I think you could actually probably play them both together, but I wouldn't aim for that. But Quickly, Hart, and it's going to be Brunson and Randall. And let's see if we can get some other any other super value from that potentially. That's a big piece that I'm glad we got. Let's see what we're going to do with it.
And then let's make sure we know who's starting. I mean, I'm sure that Hart's going to get in there. And it's just a question. We're waiting. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to, in like 6:45, I'll redo the projections and just fire stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's see. We got Hart. I'm just trying to figure out
it'll be Hart.
What I think the Knicks should do. Let's see. Hart and is the obvious one.
Quickly.
I think Randall's pretty obvious. Quickly. I think DiVincenzo is the one who doesn't get owned enough potentially, but he is for cheaper, so he might get some ownership.
That's interesting.
He's not like he's been like tearing it up with these minutes without Brunson, without Barrett, but now maybe because you have what's his name out too, Grimes out too. Maybe it is the right spot to use him. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Let's play Josh Hart for one thing. Let's play Julius Randle. And leave me, there we go. Okay, so Jalen Green, Norman Powell, Skylar Mays, Kongwo. Yeah, I really like the Hart Randall. The only thing I would say, like Hart Randall, they correlate fine enough, but the problem is one of the things you like about playing Hart, or one of the things we like about playing Hart in general, is that he does rebound, and that does so technically, even though he's a guard, there is a little bit of takeaway, but it's not enough to where you should worry about it too much. I think. Just want to throw that out there.
Because what?
I just think I think that the sorry, I lost my thing.
Okay.
I just think that Randall and Hart, like if we had a bunch of amazing plays, maybe then we could say, okay, they kind of could eat into each other because they're going to get there partially from rebounding. But I don't think it's enough to where we should concern ourselves on this particular slate. And then look, I get to get rid of Eric Gordon. I get to play Quickly. It feels like a good Brunson spot too, but like somehow I just keep not getting to him quite. Maybe I need to fix that.
Let me see if they. Yeah, so we're gonna wait on the starters. Wait on some projections to update. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there it is. RJ Barrett is out. Let's see if we can reset the slate here. New build.
Yeah, Bucklope. Thanks, Method Man. That's what we expected from the Bucks. So Barrett out, and now we've got some stuff we can do. I think
now I'm getting hard at. Okay, here's a projection of 27.
That seems low.
Quickly didn't get bumped too much.
It must just not be right yet, right?
Maybe it's not in there yet.
Yeah, I just have a feeling
it's got hard with 30.
He was there though. He was there after Grimes was announced out. Basically the same, I think.
What?
Boy. I'm sort of struggling here because I really want to get to Randall and Hart in one lineup, or I think the answer I have is what if it just feels like such a Quickly game though, doesn't it? You have a fast-paced team in Washington, could easily be a blowout. He's going to dismantle those guys, the first and second unit. He can score on like crazy.
You should be right. And we just play some mixed guys and don't worry about playing Washington guys there?
I don't think you need. I mean, no, I don't think you need to worry about that. I mean, you could definitely take shots on Avdia, Poole, or Kuzma, but I just don't think I'm going to. I'd rather play Randall than Kuzma. I'd probably rather play Harris than Avdia, but pretty close between those two, I guess. Maybe that's the one. And Jordan Poole is just—he's been so terrible. He's going to have a game where he goes completely berserk. Maybe it's tonight. I don't know. I like Paolo Banchero. I forgot to mention earlier today. I think he's this very solid play. Dante DiVincenzo starting. Okay, so that's
okay. Here we go. All right, we got some action here.
So then DiVincenzo starting means that I think Quickly's an even better play. Not starting. So that's now my favorite for tournament side of it. Josh Hart is the chalk one, and the Randall is the chalk I would eat. I think Quickly, Brunson, and I think that fading DiVincenzo becomes a better play than playing him, just personally.
Okay.
But we don't have a ton of other options, so maybe you just want that 4,700. You just go with it.
Let's make sure that Mr. Embiid's playing.
It's right. We won't know that one probably till 7:30
or 7:40.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Like we'd have that. Which game was that? There was a game like that. Can you play
Jalen Smith?
Yeah.
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 So I'm just still waiting for projections to update here.
Okay, so I'm actually playing some Quickly and DiVincenzo together. And I'm not sure that's right, just to be honest. All right, let's see what we got for the projection updates.
Nothing yet for the Knicks.
Nothing yet?
No.
Oh, as we don't have the starting thing either. You do have Randall up there at almost 50 now. 40, not 45. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't do anything.
Wow, nothing.
Let's see some of the other
What
plays.
a weird slate.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell ruled out. According to Josh, mainly Donovan Mitchell's out.
There you go. See, each side of the way.
Yeah, great. We do. This is what I'm saying. It's really crazy with the NBA things to even like that we're doing stuff all through the day or thinking things. Yeah, it's Garland, Struss, Wade, Mobley, Allen. So we know what the rule is. One of Garland or LeVert or Struss you could put in the mix too, by the way. And I think that's and Mobley. You play at least one of those guys, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe more. My Harden love is going to just go right out the window. I can't play him with these guys. With these guys,
33 minutes of Dean Wade, maybe.
I don't know if he'll play that many minutes. I mean, why would he get? He hasn't been playing the minutes anyway. He did play 32 in the one game, but boy, if you want to see a game log that makes you scream, never play me, he's got it. But remember that Garland has been out too. This is no bump for him, really, because he was in this spot for weeks when Garland was out, and he was starting. But I guess you can look. Maybe today is the day he gets to 20 fantasy points for the first time this season. Maybe. And also, Jared Allen was out too for a while. He played 32 minutes in the game, scored 7 fantasy points. It's pretty ugly.
Well, this is helpful. I don't think I'm going to want to play Dean Wade though. But what I think it's doing is I think it's further reinforcing these mid-range plays. But I think it's different mid-range players.
Yes, agreed. That is what seems to be happening. Brunson. Okay,
so we have to wait. When's the Cleveland game start?
At 7:30.
We got a little time for that one, but
yeah, it's really just the Knicks one.
I would like to have this Knicks projection thing up there.
Actionable.
Let's see what we have here. They didn't post the starters yet for the Knicks here on Saberson, at least. Hart's 33 points now. They got Quickly up to 30. DiVincenzo up to. I guess so. I guess they have changed it here. They don't have listed as starters, but they have at least DiVincenzo with 25 fantasy points now.
Yeah, they've got DiVincenzo 25 and Hart at 33, like you said. Yeah,
and also
a little boost to Randall, although it's not as much of a boost as I would have thought.
And also projecting DiVincenzo for 32 minutes. So these are officially updated.
Yeah,
for that game,
Right.
Not for obviously not for Cleveland yet. But we could do something with that projection, right? For Cleveland, we could Oh, they did take Mitchell out. That's good. Wait a minute. But there's no way that Garland's only at 36. I mean, it could be.
I did want to point something out about Jokic, and it's something that carried at the end of last year a little bit. For whatever reason, his splits have gotten pretty drastic between home and road. Just want to throw that out there because I'm thinking about playing him, and that's probably enough to keep me a little bit off of him.
Who?
Jokic. Like he's averaging 72 at home this season and 57 on the road.
Guy's just insane. Whatever.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Now, is there anything to this in-season tournament? Are like people motivated in any way to play this thing or no?
It seems to be the younger players that are trying to go out there and do stuff for it. But yeah, I think that they are motivated. I picked up a little bit of extra intensity from some of the younger guys. It's a $500,000 bonus at the very least for them. You know what I mean? By winning. Yeah. So there's no reason not to. And the coaches, by the way, have that too. So the coaches are motivated to win these as well. Right. Which is partly why we're not getting as many guys not announced out. That I would bet you most of the teams who are announcing people out are probably eliminated.
So maybe give them an extra home game in the playoffs or something. If I don't know. That like over correlates the top teams, though. I think.
Yeah. Maybe I can do this stupid Harden thing. This is so stupid.
What about the Miles McBride experience?
That's something I think you could take a shot with too, for sure. They've got a lot of guards, but I don't hate it. Kind of weird that they haven't updated the Cleveland stuff yet. That's why.
No.
Oh, let's do Garland here. Garland is a tough guy not to play today.
Miles McBride experience comes to New York.
Randall.
Oh, I know. I'm getting that because ownership is 0.
All right, guys. I'm probably going to be in the premium Discord and jump out of here in a minute because I am not as good at sheets as building while talking.
No, definitely. I'm no good either, considering that I have still have projections left to update. And I don't think DiVincenzo's ownership projection of 0.46% is accurate.
Yeah, I would say probably not accurate on that one.
So I have to look at that as well. And that's why I'm getting Miles McBride, because they're giving him an ownership projection of literally 0. So that makes sense. So I guess I'm going to fly too. Again, NBA is just rough to take you guys right up to lock because we do have to build our own lineups. And normally I would just build them with you watching, but I just also have to do the projection. So it's a little difficult. So I am going to run as well. You will see at the very least, you'll see me Sunday morning at 11 and hopefully at the top of the leaderboards tonight.
I hope so, buddy. Good luck, man. Good luck, everybody, tonight. And I will get out of here and say that's it. Giannis, Embiid, or Jokic. I think that I slightly lean Embiid, but I think Giannis maybe because of position eligibility. That's my last thing. Anyway, good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys in a premium Discord.